Oh, we're live? Okay, I see. There you go. Alright, um, today we are going to listen to the interviewer, or not the interviewer, obviously Daka's the interviewer. We're gonna go listen to an interview with Scott Cawthon 2.0, the creator of FNaF, which is something that Daco is gonna have on his channel. Apparently, this had to be the fourth amazing surprise for the anniversary thing. So I guess let's check it out. Let's see. While I'm playing this, I'm probably gonna go play some My Pop Goes because I kind of want to do something interesting, and I'm gonna go play a game that I didn't really finish or do much with last time I played it. But over here, I'd be fine just kind of listening to what this guy has to say about about the massive legacy that he's left on this franchise. So, let's listen.
Scott, tell me what's in the box.
All right, the box.
As the 10-year anniversary is upon us, I will give this as my gift to the fan base on this 10th anniversary.
Okay.
What's in the box is
another interview with Scott Cawthon.
Aww. Hi, Mabel.
Yeah, she's the best. What's going on, guys? Stalker back again. Hope you're fantastic today.
Okay.
It's the 10-year anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's.
It is
August the 5th, which means
that's
if
right.
you've been looking at the list, what the official Twitter has been saying, it's the interview with Scott Cawthon, everybody.
Yes,
Hey,
it is.
everybody, how's it going? Daco, good to see you again.
Yes.
Which
6 years
isn't, because
since
it
the last
got
interview,
swapped around,
which is
but that's alright.
crazy. A lot of things have been happening since then, so let's go back a little bit. So the
Just
interview
alright.
was August 2018.
Mm.
So after that, we got Help Wanted,
Yep.
Special Delivery, Security Breach, Help Wanted 2, Ruin DLC, so there's a lot going on. And of course the future games as well. Yesterday, Steelwall has announced something. I don't know what it is yet because we're recording this, a couple of months before. But guys, whatever it was, I hope you're very excited for it. Future Dorco, Into the Pit as well. Stuff to look for. There's so much stuff to look forward to, and it's really cool that you've done like a week of exciting things for the 10-year anniversary.
I'm gonna go play a bit
We've never
more.
seen something like this before. 10 years of Five Nights at Freddy's, which is it's pretty crazy, right?
Man, I can't believe it's been so long since our last interview. That really seems like just it doesn't. How long did you say ago it was? 6 years ago? That's hard to believe. That's impossible to believe.
I know, right? I've actually got a song for
Okay.
you that I'm going to play for you to celebrate the 10-year anniversary.
Okay, now this is getting things off to a kind of an awkward start, but I'll let you go on ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you
No,
ready?
Is this song?
You're going to be performing this yourself, or is something recorded?
I've got the harmonica right here.
Oh, a harmonica. Okay, my
I've
favorite.
been practicing this song for over 32 years, okay? So, are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Come on now, you started this.
Right, okay.
Let's go.
Ready? I'm really good. I'm really good.
Now, I will admit that I couldn't actually hear that. I don't know if your thing was cutting the audio out.
Well, I actually played a spell.
Oh.
The spell is from 1864.
Wait, where was that? Was he just gone? Oh, never mind. He almost got up, I think. Wait.
The spell is from... I actually played a spell.
Oh.
What is this? What does this mean? Does this mean that... Okay, I guess he's down now.
The spell is from 1864.
Let me also go
by
get
a
chat
wizard.
up.
named Dewey Muscrewy.
Dewey Muscrewy.
That spell
Okay.
has hypnotized you to tell me all the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, jeez. Now, I thought we talked about this in advance. Now, listen. This is a bad idea to start talking about lore. All right, well, here, you have to give me specific questions, and I'll see what I can answer for you.
I was joking.
But I make no promises.
Scott, tell me what's in the box.
Okay.
Wow, just direct. Just out and direct, just like that.
Yes, it is.
Well, look, okay. It's the 10-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And even though I like to be elusive, I like to kind of tease the fan base. I like to, and I do like there to be an air of mystery about things. Sometimes I do let things go on for too long. And I understand sometimes things become not fun anymore and things can become frustrating for theorists.
Yeah.
So, okay. I think as the 10-year anniversary is upon us, I will give this as my...
I think that what they should do is, like, Scott should just straight up have a point in time when he just explains all of the lore about, like, the first, like, 6 games. Those things have been out for, like, a while. Screw it, throw UCN in there. A while. Those games have been around for a while. Put that out. Because we have to make sure we're all on the same page. Because there's a point in time when I don't even know if Scott knows what the lore is anymore. I don't think that anyone knows what the lore is. Because I have no evidence that they do besides they tell us that there's a story. We don't know that. We actually have no idea if there even is one that is solvable even. Maybe they made mistakes. I don't know. Like we would never know. They're never going to tell us. They're never going to tell us if... Right? Like, they're never going to tell us if we're even on the right track. First off, because everyone has different tracks. But there should just be a moment where it's like, okay, fellas, stop. This is what is going on. You know? We need answers to this. You know? My friend showed me Gravity Falls recently. And the thing about it is that Gravity Falls ended, and I think that the large majority of the I wasn't there for the theorizing, but it seemed like the large majority of the questions were answered, and things actually got solved within the show, where Five Nights at Freddy's kind of like introduces some things, doesn't really solve it later, introduces some things, doesn't really solve it later, introduces some things, doesn't really solve it later, and keeps doing that, and there's still just so much mystery, even from like all of the games, it seems. Like, there's still mysteries, you know, and even what we do know, and we think, okay, this is 1,000,000% certain, we don't exactly know it for certain because we've never gotten confirmation. We think it is because it feels irrefutable, but like, I don't know, FNaF's a weird franchise. Anything could happen, right? So I need to hear this.
As my gift to the fan base on this 10th anniversary, what's in the box is...
You kidding me? Okay. Alright, chat.
Oh my god.
And that's about it. And that's it, man.
Oh, never mind. So he understands that the lore can get really, really annoying.
10 years of...
So he knows that it can get really, really annoying and really, really confusing. And he knows that that kind of annoys theorists a lot. And then just kind of doesn't really do anything about it. That's cool. That's cool, you guys. I think, yeah, that's just kind of a problem. Like, we have all this lore stuff, you know, and that's just completely unanswered and will never be answered. Like, we've never, like, I don't even know if we've once gotten really confirmation on things. Like, maybe there's confirmation on things, like, simple things, like, oh yeah, Erpelman is named William Afton. Like, that's not really a massive thing that we just solved. That's pretty... Like, these days, it's like, oh, it's just giving a name, right? With, like, Afton Robotics. At least those things have been answered, but, like, right now, we still don't know what Midnight Motorist is. We don't entirely know what happens from FNaF 6 to, Security Breach. And even after Security Breach, we don't even know entirely, like, for certain why the Pizzaplex is destroyed. We can only assume that it's the Blob or the Tangle, but we don't 1,000,000% know. And that's where the lore gets bothersome, is when, like, if you are going to have a franchise that like, when your franchise is focused mostly on gameplay and not focused entirely on story, learning the story of your games that are never going to get clarified or confirmed for later is kind of like, that's kind of a waste of your time. Like, Help 1 and 2 does not really have much of a story. Like, the story of Help 1 and 2 seems simplistic, but it also is, like, very important. Like, did it happen before or after Ruin? Well, it's probably came before. But how do we know it came before, right? Because they're all, like, archived versions. They're all archived from before the Pizzaplex. Like, they're all, to my knowledge, it's all a bunch of, like, archives of the Pizzaplex, like, of a Pizzaplex worker who might be Cassie's dad, but we don't entirely 1,000,000% know that, but it does seem incredibly likely. And with that, like, it's just like his memories or something, right? Working at the Pizzaplex or working at sister location. It's just his memories. So it could have totally happened after Ruin. Maybe the ending for Ruin was like, or the ending with the mask was just a callback to Ruin. You know? I don't know. It's just like all this stuff is just really, really complicated. And we can theorize about all we want, but it's really going to not matter at the end of the day. Really, like, to me. Like, that's why this franchise isn't as fun to theorize about anymore, is because we have all these complicated themes, and we could try to make just about anything possible. You know, we have virtual reality experiences. What if Security Breach is just one big virtual reality experience? We don't exactly know that for certain. I mean, there's not really enough evidence to back it up, but could it happen? I don't know, maybe. Maybe it could. Maybe that's what they want. You know, could Ruin just be a big virtual reality experiences? How does the mask work? I don't know. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I don't really know if I'm making a fantastic case for myself, but it's like we're supposed to find answers. Our developers who are in charge of the games tell us that there's a story, but we don't really we're probably never really gonna know for certain what that story actually is. You know. Anyway, sorry. I'm gonna go let Mr. Coffin speak, and I'm gonna go play some My Pop Goes.
Five Nights at Freddy's, which is a crazy amount of time. I can't believe we're still here. It's been such a journey. So I just wanted to ask you, do you have a highlight moment for the whole 10 years of Five Nights at Freddy's since 2014?
I think there have definitely been a lot of satisfying moments. Like, obviously, if whenever one of the new games would come out and it would be positively received, that was obviously a huge relief. You know, there's never been any goal other than
Scott
just giving everybody what they were really hyped up about. Because when you see everybody getting hyped up and getting excited, if suddenly something comes out that just is a big letdown, there's no greater fear, I think, for a game developer. So
Scotty,
it was always
Scott, that happened with Security Breach.
I think the biggest
So he probably hated that.
was probably just going to the movie theater to watch the movie when it finally came out, because, you know, behind the scenes of all of the games throughout the years and behind the scenes of all the books being written and everything else, there was always the movie. The movie was just a slow burn project, even just starting as late as 2014. So that has been in the background, being, you know, progressing for almost the entirety of not almost the entirety of that first 9 years.
Hey, quack.
So to be able to actually go sit in the theater and hear the reaction from everybody and hear the fans really enjoy it, that was definitely that was definitely a moment of just real happiness for me, I think.
Literally
That's
9
cool.
years, you know, having ups and downs, you know, getting the scripts right as well. I know you've said on posts before you've had so many scripts made for the movie. The plushies in Manhattan or something, that was one of the scripts. So
Yeah, it was.
What?
Yeah, I can imagine how
Plushies in Manhattan. I missed that part.
trying to get it all done. You know, I can just imagine Well, I can't imagine it because I'm not you, but you know, when me, Raz, and Ryan and Baz went to a premiere for it and sat down at the cinemas, and we all looked at each other at the end, and we had to like, we couldn't believe it, and we didn't even make the games. We've been there since, you know, basically day one, but we all said like, imagine how Scott's feeling right now, you know, just sitting down and seeing it actually, you know, on the big screen. It must be a crazy feeling.
Yeah, and now that I've been through the process, you know, I can tell you it's a miracle that any movie gets made. Just being through that process, just how many wheels have to be turning at the same time, and how many things. And even though this process took a long time for me, you know, Hollywood works at just blazing speed, where there's 100 things happening at the same time, and it's a miracle if these things get coordinated. And sometimes things don't work out, but sometimes they do. On the day that I was driving to New Orleans, and the shooting was supposed to start the next day, on that drive, I was on the phone. It was like a 5-hour drive from where I was.
Oh, was it
I was
right?
on the phone the entire time trying to finish contracts and finish negotiating points, because there were still open items with, there were still things that needed to be resolved with Universal, Blumhouse, the Actors Guild, the Writing Guild. There were just Louisiana, all of these things, and any one
Stupid.
of them not being settled
Talking about the
down
game.
would mean we couldn't start filming. And all of those conversations were happening at the same time, and all of them depended on one of the other ones. And so that was a very stressful drive, but that's just the way that Hollywood works. There's a million things happening at once. It was definitely a whirlwind, but to see all of those pieces come into place, it was pretty remarkable. And yeah, like you were saying, just all of the scripts, starting just with 2015. You know, there were a couple of deals that weren't very good that I'm very fortunate didn't pan out.
I'm not allowed to quit out of this.
Whenever I was
That
with
sucks.
Warner Brothers briefly, that was a good deal, and I was very, very grateful to have that. But even that, whenever the
I'm just gonna
stars
kill
seemed
myself.
to have aligned, things
Yeah.
just didn't work out there either. And so I was really fortunate to meet up with Jason Blum and get to have that deal with Blumhouse. You know, they had a lot of faith in the project, and they were following my lead on a lot of things. You know, sometimes to a fault, because lots of times I would throw things out and want to start over. But you know, they were with me the whole journey. They were with me, and they believed in the vision. And everybody just had the fans at heart. That's all anybody wanted to do. Everybody was just making sure that every part of the movie would be something that the fan base would look at and recognize or relate to or connect with. And I think in the end, we were able to accomplish that. And I'm just really happy with that. And I think we landed with just the perfect cast, which, again, that almost didn't happen either. There were a couple of instances where
How was that
someone
different?
else was about to get a part, and then something would happen that would make that not work out, and then someone better would step in. And I've said this to, my contacts at Blumhouse numerous times just over this last 6 months, even since the movie came out, thinking, aren't we glad that we got like Josh Hutcherson for this role? Like, isn't it great we had Elizabeth Lale for this role? Isn't it awesome we had Matthew Lillard for this role? You know, isn't it great we ended up with Piper Rubio for this role? Like, every single person that we ended up with was just absolutely perfect in those slots, and everybody was just a delight to work with. Once again, since I'm new to kind of the film industry, I got to talk to people about their other experiences on other projects, and it can be really scary because usually, from what I understand, every production has one member of the cast or one person on staff or just one person that, you know, causes problems or something like that. We didn't have anything like that. Nothing like that. Everybody was just phenomenal. They were just a joy to work with, and getting to go to filming was really fun. So it was a really fun experience, and in the end, I'm just happy that the fans were happy with it. Now, that's not to say the film didn't have it's places where it could have been improved, and we're all, me and
That's
Emma
absolutely
and
fair.
Jason Blum, we're definitely chat about that and looking to make sure the second movie is
Better.
a step up and an improvement. So
It's good.
Lots of good things to look forward to, I think.
That's very
it's
cool.
exciting, and yeah, you're right about the fan reaction. The fans absolutely loved it. Like, we all can't wait for the next movie. It's so exciting, and I'm so glad it's actually happening as well. So yeah, exciting times. So yeah, you said that you've got a highlight of the 10 years of FNaF. if you could go back and change one thing in those 10 years, do you have anything?
I should have been more patient.
You can't say the box.
No, you know, the one thing I would change, I wish I could go back and have one more shot at FNaF World. I really, really do. I know it still would probably definitely be the oddball in the series, no doubt. And maybe it would still have been a poor decision in general, but there were just a lot of bad decisions made at the beginning of that project that doomed it from the start. Like, I was making it with mobile in mind, so it was a really slow resolution. I was thinking about it as a game on the phones. I tried to make the whole game on one frame in Click Team Fusion. That just means I wasn't allowing it to be as big as it could have been. I was trying to cram it all together for my own convenience. There were just several decisions that were made that really hindered that. And also, I was in a rush because I was getting a little arrogant, thinking that, hey, anything I make is.
Yeah, and also, you know, my own little 2 cents is that I wouldn't call myself a FNaF World hater, but I wouldn't really call myself a FNaF World enjoyer. Like, FNaF World is one of those games that just wasn't really for me. Hey Jane, how you doing? FNaF World is just kind of one of those games that I feel like just kind of wasn't really for me. And I think that there are many issues with it, but I'm happy that some other people enjoy it. I don't personally have that. I'm not really a. I don't know. Is RPG the right word for it? I don't know. But I do know, you know, it wasn't really my cup of tea. First try. Where is it? Oh, it's down. It's down there. I'm looking for the fish. But you know, a lot of people are like FNaF World, like who are FNaF World like haters. I don't have that kind of thing, where I'm like a complete hater of FNaF World. But I'm not exactly an enjoyer. I kind of think it's worse than Security Breach. It's worse than It's not. It's sorry, I'm focusing a lot. Nice. I think it's just kind of like when somebody makes a something completely different from the franchise. I am a very picky person when it comes out of video games. It's very, very difficult for me to latch on to things. Um, I have to be, you know, essentially, I kind of have to be persuaded to try it. And like 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to really do anything more with it ever again. Like, that's just kind of out for me. But, wait, hang on. This looks like an easy one. Easy catch, easy catch. And, I think it's just that, like, some games just aren't really entirely made. Like, I don't like the first Half-Life at all. You know, my thing about FNaF World is that it is a game that is interesting. It is just not the kind of thing that interests me. I don't really play it. I know of its existence. I remember playing it a lot and trying it a lot and going through everything a lot, but it's just kind of like that wasn't really my thing when it came down to FNAF. You know, it wasn't really my kind of exciting, you know. I feel like it's just kind of a game that was made for people that weren't me, and there's a lot of people who genuinely like really like FNaF World. More power to them, you know. Hope they enjoy it forever. But for me, I just kind of find FNaF World to just kind of be a game that's just kind of like, it's there. It's just kind of there. So I hear him when he's talking about making mistakes on the game, because there probably were a few, and it could probably use a remaster. I'll be real. I don't know. I don't know if I'm spitting facts or if I'm spitting terrible hot takes. But I can kind of agree that there were a few mistakes in FNaF World that just kind of make it a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, back to watching.
It's gonna be gold, you know, and then I definitely ate some humble pie with that really, really quick, and I learned that is not the case.
Humble pie, I like that.
So I've tried to be very careful not make that mistake again after that. But yeah, you know, if I could go back.
I mean, you weren't entirely wrong. It still has a lot of people who like it.
Developer and just really make it a high resolution game, get in some really good graphics, maybe get someone else to help me with those graphics. And it could have been a good game. Could have been a good game. Who knows? Maybe somewhere down the line, if I get really antsy about it and have a lot of free time on my hands, maybe FNaF 2 or FNaF World 2 might be a thing.
Yeah, I was about to say that. You could still get a different company to do a FNaF World.
What is
game.
that
So
looking
not
fish?
only,
Oh, it's at the very
I've said this
bottom?
to you before, I love FNaF World. I think it is so underrated, and I always say FNaF World.
Well, Scott, I mean, Daco, it's your job to literally love FNaF games.
I really do, and I know you don't
Too.
like it, but I absolutely love it.
Alright,
man.
we did the fish
really
minigame.
do. I love everything about it.
If I had allowed myself to work on it for one more year, just like really double its development cycle and let it be a high res game, I bet it would have really been something. But like I said, who knows? Maybe for the sequel someday.
Let's
Do you guys
move
see it
on
blinking?
to Steel Wall, the amazing Steel Wall Studios. That was the next game after Ultimate.
Alright, yeah.
Night,
Let's talk Steel Wall. I actually really respect Steel Wall. I know that they made kind of a blunder with Security Breach, but I still have a soft spot for it because I have a lot of nostalgia. I don't know if nostalgia is the right word, but I had a lot of memories with Security Breach. I have 180 hours in Security Breach. The only other game that for me where Security Breach does not reign supreme on the playtime is Help Wanted 1. Like I have a soft spot for Steel Wall because it's kind of like I kind of came into the franchise around the time when the series was like transitioning. So it's like 2018. Yeah, it was about like 2018. I came into the franchise about 2018, which is I still was there for the last 6 years, and I still read up a lot on the previous 4 years. So I was still here longer than still here for 6 years, which is good. And I don't know. Was it? Yeah, 2018. So I wasn't there for the first 4 years, but I was there for the last 6 years, which is still pretty big. Still a long time. And I kind of came when Help Wanted came out. Help Wanted was huge for me. I loved Help Wanted a lot. I know how my pop ghost works. Oh, I accidentally pressed that. Let's customize things. What else? Axe, Balloon Boy. Did I get some more of these characters? I must have. Yeah, but I really liked, God, I feel like Joe Biden. I really liked the Steel Wool games. I have a complicated relationship with modern FNaF, but I kind of like it. There's a part of me, modern FNaF for me is just kind of feel good with the Pizzaplex and with the Glamrock animatronics and the way to go superstar and like Freddy being a nice guy and all of them being really nice guys but just kind of corrupted and doing nice things for them. You know, like fixing the animatronics, like even if they're going to bite your face off, you know, it's still pretty nice. And you know, Help Wanted kind of made the animatronics kind of some of my best friends at the time. I don't know if that's depressing or not. I hope it's not. But the games are just really nice. You know, Freddy becoming your best friend in the game, even though he kind of likes to ditch you at every single area he doesn't feel entirely comfortable with. Just still pretty sad, but you know. But there's an appeal to it. Also, Sun and Moon. I love Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon are like not exactly. I don't know if comfort character is the right word, but I do really like them. I really do. Kellen does a phenomenal job. And Kellen, yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm not talking to anyone. I don't know. I'm saying, oh, absolutely. But like, Kellen also like was a huge inspiration for me because I love voice acting. I really love that, and I've been doing impressions of his characters for the last, God, how long has it been? I don't even know. 3 years? 4 years. 4 years. The last 4 years, I've been practicing Funtime Freddy, Glamrock Freddy, and Sun and Moon. And I could just kind of do them on command now, which is just really cool for me. And that got me into voice acting a lot, you know. and that's like he's a huge reason for that, and I wouldn't have found him if it weren't for more modern FNaF. So that's kind of huge. So and also just modern FNaF period. Like once again, it's just really feel good for me. I don't know why. I know that there's a lot of older FNaF fans who really hate the AI and giving them personalities, but personally, I'm at peace with it. I'm pretty okay with it. So I don't really mind um, the entire AI thing, where they all have like AIs and they all have artificial intelligence and they all just kind of act like humans. Like it's like modern FNAF. If I want a horror experience, I'll play like the original games or like some fan game. But if I really want like more just kind of relaxing FNAF, I'll play more modern FNAF. Because I do kind of like modern FNAF, and there's just kind of something weirdly sort of comforting about it for me. I don't know. That's just kind of my consensus on it. So I'm kind of okay with the Steelboy era. I'm kind of happy with that.
Give a company your baby, basically, and let them, do what you've been doing for the past.
I think it's interesting if Scott tried to do another horror franchise, or just another franchise, right? He doesn't just have to make FNAF. Like he could do something else too. You know?
I went several years still doing it by myself, even after I had the financial ability to pay other people. Again, I wasn't in that mentality of being able to do that. So even though I could have done that, I was still doing things just all by myself, all the way through Pizzeria Simulator.
Yeah.
But by then it was I knew that it was getting too much for me. I knew that I had to find another partner for it, and I was scared of that because there are stories all
What if they
over the
screwed it
internet
up?
available about just games that went completely wrong because of games being mismanaged in the hands of development companies. And I'm sure that all of their
That was
pitches on the
close.
surface would have sounded the same, but I really got lucky. For that reason, I really feel like I got lucky, because whereas I probably could have accidentally ended up with a company that did botch something, I didn't. I think I really honestly believe that I landed with the best, just one of the best development
Oh, that's
companies.
nice.
They've been just a pleasure to work with, and they've done a really great job.
And they're really cool people, to my
This last one
knowledge.
they did, Ruin, I thought it was just so much fun, and I think that might be my favorite thing that they've made was Ruin, and the things that they have planned, which I'm not going to talk about right here, but the things that they have
Oh, I
planned are
missed
really
that.
exciting too. So yeah, I've been really happy. It's been a really good experience. Well, I'll tell you, on Help Wanted, I was going to throw in, I'm happy with how Help Wanted
That was close.
came out, because at the time, and I don't have this anymore. I don't have a 3D, I don't have a VR setup anymore. But whenever the first Help Wanted came out, I did have a VR setup, so I was able to beta test. And of course, I was leading the charge to want to beta test my own games. I got into the Funtime Auditorium and I noped out of it. I took the headset off, and I immediately got on the phone with Steel and said, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to test it. You test it. You're going to test it. You'll find someone else to test it. I didn't even get jump scared.
Scott was too scared of his own game. That's fantastic.
And I never played Help Once. And I never
That's
played Help Once
That's
either.
insane.
I'm going to.
People need to understand it though, right? Because in the
Help
past,
Wanted is fantastic.
I've obviously done videos on Help Wanted 1 and 2. I get comments saying like, it's not that scary. You're overreacting. It's not.
No,
that bad.
no, it's
But
terrifying.
you don't know until you've literally put on the headset, right?
Sometimes I feel like Daco probably could be overreacting a lot.
Compared to having the actual headset on, it's terrifying.
Yeah, completely
Oh.
different experience.
My other question.
I gotta get used to
Glitch
this.
Trap is one of my favourite characters in
Obviously.
FNaF. Now I absolutely love Glitch Trap.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Glitch Trap as a whole? With the development of Help
Yeah, I'm curious.
Wanted?
I love the character, and I know that this is kind of one of the places where I know that there's a little bit of a divide with maybe me and the fan base, or maybe just within the fan base, because I always lean sci-fi. I have a tendency to lean sci-fi, even though
Yeah.
I try to come back.
FNaF is absolutely going
of the supernatural,
sci-fi.
but I can't help my inclinations to lean sci-fi. So anything that involves possession of AI or possession of machines or circuitry, that I love that sort of thing. So I love the idea of glitch trap. I'm not a huge fan of the name, and here's the way that these things happen. Okay, and this happened with burn trap too. Whenever I'm in the planning phase with Steel Wool, we come up with temporary names for these characters. Whenever we're doing the
Interesting. So
pre-production
Burn Trap
document,
isn't
I'll say,
supposed
oh,
to be
this
Burn Trap.
glitchy
Isn't that supposed to be
performs
William
glitch trap.
Afton?
Oh yeah, he's burn.
Interesting.
We'll just call him Burn Trap. But then those names get embedded in the source code because they use those temporary names also. And once they're in the source code, and once someone finds them in the source code, that's it. Like that's the canon.
So
name
what's
now.
Burn
There's
Trap's
nothing
actual
to do with that.
name?
And hopefully
This is my
we're learning our
curious.
lessons
This is my
going
question.
forward to maybe find I don't know, to just hone in on a better process there, because yes, I love the character, not a huge fan of the name, but it is what it is for now. It's the name.
I love Glitch Trap's name. Can you think of a name, like, on the spot, like what you would want to call him, or not?
Oh, I have no idea. But you know what? A good example is Nexus, from Ruin. Now, that was a character where, even in just my design of the game, I thought that through, and I came up with that. And I'm really happy with it. I really like that name. It's a really cool name. But now, see, if I didn't have one of those ready to fire off, I might have thought up something like, I don't know, Purple Trap or AI Trap, or just something temporary, and then that would have been the can name. That would have been so much worse than Nexus. So
After Help Wanted, we got Security
This is
Breach.
impossible.
Were you happy with the release of Security Breach when it first came out?
Pest control?
Security Breach.
Never even tried this one
There's a
yet.
really big story behind that. That was definitely a challenging period, and a lot of things just didn't align up perfectly for that, and there were a lot of reasons for that. I mean, obviously,
What is
hear
that?
lots of studios and things kind of blame COVID for stuff, but there is a reason for that. COVID took well-structured work systems and suddenly scattered them and expected the work to continue to flow, and it just doesn't work that way. From my understanding, I'm pretty sure most, if not every, member of Steel Wool got scattered across the country and were trying to just carry on with the workflow, and it was just really difficult. I think that's really the only example when my idea of how a game was going to go was misaligned with how things were going with Steel Wool, and I had a specific story for this in mind. Okay, for Security Breach, I really did. I had a very specific story in mind, and it is very different than the one that got in the game.
Interesting.
Part of that is the way that I conveyed that to Steel Wool, because what I was trying to do was I was trying to tell Steel Wool to do specific things throughout the game, put specific items in specific places, have specific characters do certain things, meanwhile not telling them what the story plot was. Because in my head, I was thinking, okay, when people find this, they will connect this to this to this, and it will all be revealed. And I thought I could do that without telling Steel Wool the story plot. That didn't work out very well, because they got all of these pieces, and they thought it was their job to connect them in a way that made sense. And so really what you ended up having were the same pieces, but telling completely different stories. And since I was trying to kind of tell a specific story with mine that went a certain direction, they were taking pieces I didn't fully understand and trying to craft a story out of them. And again, I don't blame them for that. I blame myself for that, because I guess what I should have done is just said, hey, here's the story. Here's why these pieces are here. Here's how they're supposed
Interesting.
to connect. And I can
So that's
give you
why
a really easy
it's
example of
weird.
this. And I'm hesitant to say this because I don't like messing with the lore, but I think in this case, it's okay. When it comes to Burn Trap, originally, Burn Trap was never supposed to move. He was supposed to just be something you saw in the corners, or like if you were walking past machinery, you might be able to peek in between two things and see him in the corner or propped up against a wall, almost like a some kind of decaying movie prop, and you never fully understood what his purpose was. And he had a very specific purpose, and I'm not going to say what that purpose was, but realistically, he never moved. Well, obviously, that's not what we got in Security Breach. In Security Breach, we got a capsule opening and purple smoke flowing out, and him climbing out and coming to get you. And so it's just not quite the same thing. So, but anyway, it didn't turn out the way anybody wanted, but hey, whenever that
Ugh.
happens, just like whenever
Ugh.
I stepped in it a little bit
I
more
don't.
in
Ugh.
the world, me and
Stupid.
Steel Wool got together. We were like, look, all that matters now is making things right by the fan base. That's all that matters. We all had the best intentions going on. We all wanted to make a good product, and we went in and we made.
So it was right.
Ruin
Ruin was an apology.
and I hope that redeemed the game, and I feel like it did because I think it was really great. And yeah, and anything that we do going forward that continues that story or has those same themes, I think we're just going to be in a much better situation to continue on.
So, the Ruin DLC came out a year ago now, which is crazy to think about. Time's going so quickly, and the fan reaction to that was amazing. Everybody loved it, and everybody's looking forward to what's next. The ending of Ruin with a specific character that came out, a new character into the games, the Mimic. Any thoughts on the Mimic?
I cannot share any thoughts on the Mimic other than I really like that character. This is a character that I really like and I'm really excited about. I think it's a really terrific antagonist, and I don't think it's the last that we've seen of the Mimic. That's all I'll say.
Yes. With that, do you have a
I don't
favorite
care, just kill
character
me.
in the Steel Wool era of games?
I mean, Music Man is too obvious of an answer, right? I mean, I think all those characters turned out great. In fact, I think this is why it's hard to pick a favorite because all of them turned out so well. I've always really liked Vanny as a character. I don't think that Vanny was utilized to her fullest potential, and so
Absolutely
hopefully
not.
we'll see another opportunity for Vanny to return as well. We'll see.
Ooh, okay. Moving on to the books. So the books have been amazing. I've been doing little summary videos on the channel with Fazbear Frights. That was awesome. How has it been working on Fazbear Frights?
It's actually really enjoyable. It's probably one of the most enjoyable things that I do because I just get to think up a really scary scenario, and then I create maybe a 10 to 15 page story out of it, and then I have writers that I work with, obviously, and they take that and they really flesh it out and fill it out and add the details and turn it into a full-length story, and I get to kind of just really see it come to life. So it's been really enjoyable, and that's something that I really enjoy. It's funny because it's one of those things where as long as I know that that's something that's happening in my life, I might be at the gym or I might be watching the show, and then suddenly something will come to mind, and I'll be like, "Oh man, this is gonna make a great story," and I get right home and I start working on it.
Do you have a favorite story out of all of them?
I think my favorite story is probably Bunny Call. I know that's kind of an oddball choice, but there's a reason for it because some of these stories are based on my real life experiences. Bunny Call is not completely made up. I used to take my family to a family summer camp. Okay. This is one of my two. This is my two oldest boys were maybe 11 and 12 at the time. Or no. I bet they were 13 or 14.
I'm bad at
I don't remember
this.
exactly when this was. But then
I don't have the skill set for this.
Just babies still. And whenever we showed up at camp, and we were all in the auditorium signing up for activities, rafting and boating. One of the things you could sign up for was a panda call. Okay. And a panda call it's a very deceiving title because what that meant is that early in the morning, a bunch of the camp counselors dressed as killer clowns would come into your cabin and scare the crap out of your kids to wake them up early and drag them off to their daily activities. And so I signed up my two oldest, Ian and Braden, my old beta testers, or whenever all their lives testing my games, I signed them up for it. And I thought, oh yeah, this will be kind of fun. It was kind of fun until the next morning started rolling around. I started thinking about what I'd done, because then the next morning I woke up at 5 a.m. and I realized they're out there somewhere. Like this is happening right now. And I started listening for screams, and I started listening for noises, and I even snuck out and went outside, and it was dark, and there were crickets chirping, and I was looking around, and I just thought to myself, somewhere out here in the dark, in these trees, are a bunch of clowns, and they're coming to my cabin. And it was a really scary sensation. And so then I just went back inside and I looked at my family sleeping. I looked at my baby sleeping.
Oh, I'm bad.
Then my wife, and I was like, what have I done? Like, what have I done? Of course, it
Ugh,
ended up not being a
damn
big
it.
deal because then I just heard a soft knock at the door and I opened it and there was a row of killer clowns. I said, never mind, you guys, and they just walked on. And so what? So it
I would
wasn't a
love
big
a
deal, but it was
significantly
still
better
a really
control
eerie
scheme for
feeling,
this.
feeling
This
like
doesn't
I
work in my
signed
head
up
at
for
all.
something that I'd regretted and I couldn't undo it, you know. And so I based a bunny call on that.
Oh, that's awesome. You said that you've got relatable stories. Do you have a relatable story with Fazgoo?
Ugh,
Listen, anytime there's a
I'm
series
garbage,
of
dude.
a whole bunch of different things, you're gonna have some that are great, and then some that's like, well, like what was going on with this? You know, I don't know how to explain the Faz, but I'm sure I had something in mind that was really great, but you know, they can't all be winners.
Ugh.
I will say, a couple of the other ones that had real life connections.
Talking about the
Sometimes you
game,
hear about
no,
people
not Mr.
talking about
Goth, and
their
I'm very, very
sleep
intrigued.
paralysis demons or whatever. That's never really made sense to me, but now it kind of makes sense to me, and I don't know why it does. Yeah, every once in a while, a person you'll wake up, but you'll still be paralyzed in your sleep, and for some reason, I guess in that moment, you're still half dreaming, and so you have a tendency to still maybe see something before you fully wake up. And the Blackbird creature was mine. That creature on the cover of Blackbird is my sleep paralysis demon because I was on vacation, I was by myself,
Dumb.
and I don't
I
know what the
hate this game
circumstances
mode.
were. I feel like I was taking a
What's
midday
this one?
nap, but I woke up with a jolt, and for a split second, I saw that thing standing over me, and I couldn't move, and my body was tingling, and I was just frozen up, and I was just so disoriented after that. But I never forgot that, and I knew immediately after that, it's like I've got to get this into a story somewhere, like this crazy looking creature.
That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I've never had sleep paralysis, so I don't know what my creature would look like, but I hope it doesn't look like that.
I don't think it's a normal experience. I don't think it's an experience you should want to have. I don't feel like it's a healthy thing. So if that hasn't happened to you, I think you're in a good place.
Do you have a least favorite story?
I don't know. I think it probably might be the Fazgoo, or no.
Okay, dumb.
Come on. It's got to be the one where the guy gets pregnant with Springtrap's baby. I'm not sure what I was thinking about. You know, again, that's one of those things where, oh man, this is going to be really creepy. But then you step back and look at it from afar, and you're like, I don't know if this is a good idea. And I swear I wasn't picking on MatPat. That wasn't a story designed with MatPat in mind. It really, really wasn't. You know, listen, whenever you're doing these stories for this long, eventually you just run out of names, and you're going to cover all the names. You know, eventually I'll get around to Dawko. You know, and so if you see Dawko in one of these stories, it's not something personal. It's just because I ran out of names. You know.
I don't know. Dawko is a very specific name that you'd have to get to.
I probably have a few more to go through before I get to that, so you don't have anything to worry about.
When doing my summary videos, and I know a lot of people say the same, people who loved Goosebumps when they were kids find these really relatable, right? And I know kids at school now read Fazbear Frights like they're Goosebumps books. And as a kid,
Is this them all, like, with their heads chopped off?
show was Goosebumps. Would you ever think about or like the idea of Fazbear Frights ever being like a TV show like Goosebumps, where it's like a series of some of the best stories or something adapted?
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's something that can definitely happen. Especially now that the first movie came out and was successful. I think that really opens the door to lots of other potential opportunities. The only thing to be mindful of is I don't want to oversaturate the market and just create too much. And I think that sometimes we get a little bit of that where franchises have movies and too many TV shows and it just kind of waters everything down. But I really do like that idea, and it is definitely something that could happen for sure.
Awesome. So the next segment is the FNaF movie. I've got some questions for you, Scott. First off, I absolutely love the movie, as you know.
Obviously.
A lot of people did as well. The fans absolutely loved it, and it did really well at the box office as well. Super successful. Congratulations to you, Blumhouse, Universal. So yeah, first question is, how was working on the first FNaF movie after waiting for so long, after announcing it back in 2015? Well, you emailed me back in 2015 about it. I still remember that email. But yeah, how was it?
It took a really long time to get off the ground, really just because of the screenplay. But after the screenplay was really locked in, from there, all the wheels started turning all the engines fired and it took off, and it was a really fun experience from there. And really the screenplay just had a lot of challenges because of what it was, and it's really, throughout all of those years, I worked with a lot of different directors, a lot of different writers, a lot of really talented people that eventually would end up leaving the project, but still really talented people. And it was really just a matter of there's just material that's difficult to translate to the screen. And one of the biggest issues is the animatronics, obviously being the monsters in the monster movie. If I were to approach any writer of a horror movie or any director and say, okay, here are your monsters, go make a monster movie with them, that's easy. You give them all night, you go in, you just make your generic slasher. But
What did I?
Freddy, Bonnie, Cheek, and Foxy doing the slashing.
Dumb.
The nuance here is that
Dumb.
These animatronics are possessed by the spirits of kids, and these are innocent kids. These are victims themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, very difficult to still have a horror movie, still have those kills that you need, but still preserve the innocence of those kids. And it's a really difficult thing to do, and there were several screenplays.
Yeah.
And I was
Scott, I'm just gonna 1 second. Here's what I have to say about that. The FNaF movie's fort scene kind of killed the movie, because when you realize these kids are just kind of innocent kids, they stop being scary. Instantly. They just stop being scary eventually. Because, here's the thing. Is that when you create monsters, and then you tell us that they're not monsters, it kind of destroys the horror almost. It's kind of like, I really, really like it when the animatronics are scary creatures that are out to kill you, right? They can be sympathized with, and that's what you want to do, is you want to make sure that you can sympathize with them. But when it comes down to them, I'm bad. When it comes down to them actually being villains in their own film, you're going to want to put them, you don't have to show the fact that you can make villains that are wrong in what they are doing without saying, I'm sorry, I can't talk when I'm playing this, which probably was a bad idea to play this while I'm doing this. When you are making a movie about villains, it is okay to put your villains in an area where they can be relatable, or in an area where they can be enjoyed, or an area where they can be okay, right? Or, I don't know, when they can work as villains. It's kind of just like, I don't know how to explain it. It's hard to explain. It's just kind of like, you need to make sure the villains in your film are still villains, and the FNaF movies villains are there for a little bit, and they are really, really cool in that one bit where they're taking out the people who are trying to rob the place. That's genuinely cool, and that's kind of what I was looking for when I was watching the movie. I'm like, okay, this few seconds is the best part, right? And it was kind of the only part that we really saw them being the animatronics we know. Being the villainous machines that are there to murder children. Or not murder children, sorry, murder security guards. That's huge. And you can still explain, oh, they're just kids. But you don't have to, shove that in their faces and be like, oh, yeah, they're innocent. They're not innocent. They're not innocent at all. Let them be monsters. Let them be evil. Right? That's kind of how I look at it. Oh, what? My mood, it's been thrown off. I didn't touch it again. I was 2 away, guys. Damn it. Shouldn't be talking while I'm playing this. That was a bad idea. I won't interrupt him anymore while I'm playing the games, while I'm actually playing them. Blake the Badger. I'll read that later. I probably wouldn't have lost that. It was there, dude. Come on. I'm not gonna. I have a lot of thoughts about this interview, and I want to talk about them, but I can't talk about them when I'm focusing on things. That just destroys my mentality. So, that sucks. I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, keep talking, Scott.
Cautious about that and more picky about that than anything else. If kind of the innocence of those spirits was not preserved properly, I wasn't gonna go forward with it. And so, one quick example is the way that we were able to have a couple of kills in the movie was obviously the vandals. You have a group of people who are breaking in, they're disrespecting the place.
Yeah, but they're evil too.
Bad intentions.
So we're supposed to feel good there.
Combine that with the fact that these animatronics are.
No, they're not scary. They just seem like protectors who are really, really mean.
And lost animals back into a corner. You kind of left with this impression that adults are out to get them, and then you have these violent adults breaking in. And so it allows you to have that kill count while still being like, well, I can kind of see how that might happen. It was a tricky thing to do, but I think we were able to accomplish that.
Manipulated by William Afton still as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right. The drawing on the wall was also kind of this layer, this blanket of manipulation over them all. So all those things combined, you
I thought it was a little bit dumb, but it's alright.
While it not necessarily being the fault of the kids.
With the fort scene as well, I loved the fort scene. I know some people were a bit confused by that, like,
yeah, me too.
why are they building a fort, but I got it straight away. You just want to show the audience that they're just kids, right?
Yeah, but you don't have to force it.
Movie and how it came out.
Yes, I am.
Like,
I'm very happy. I mean, look, anytime anybody, I think pretty much anybody who's been through a process like this would be able to look back. And I do this with my games too. You look back and you're like, well, I wish I'd tweaked this. Well, maybe this could have been like this, or maybe this could have been like that. But you have to just really take a step back and look at it as a whole, and where it came from, all the things that could have gone, all the things that went right, and just be really grateful that so many things just fell into place. And I can give you a really quick example of why I don't want to second guess too much.
Who's this one in the middle?
At the 11th hour of this movie coming together, we still really didn't.
Can I just let him up?
A music composer, and I really wanted an animated intro. I was really pushing to have that 8-bit animated intro, but we didn't have anybody, and really not really anybody to have an idea of what kind of music we were looking for. 11th hour, Newton Brothers come in, and they write out that banger of a track, like absolute insane. Like I listened to that the first time, and I was like, wait a minute, do I have a theme song? Does Final Fantasy Praise have a theme song? And I called Emma Tammy on the phone. I was like, wait, do we have a theme song now? Like, I can't tell you how excited I was over that. And you better believe you're going to hear that again at the beginning of the second movie too. I mean, that was just so incredible. The Newton Brothers just knocked that out of the park. So many things went right that I don't think I'm going to dwell too much on, what I would go back and try to do differently.
As we know, the movie was a major hit in 2023, super successful, the biggest horror movie of 2023 as well. How does that feel, seeing that?
I'm bad.
It's nice. That part is nice. It's more important to me that if the critics had loved it, but the fan base was grumbling and saying, wait, this isn't how it is in the lore. Wait, we didn't like this. I don't like how they did this, and this. And the fan base was unhappy. That would be a failure to me. I'm perfectly happy with all the critics hating it and the fan base reacting positively to it.
That's cool.
Yes, it is nice that the movie was successful. However, that is not the correct metric by which to judge the success of this movie. In fact, opening night, which was Thursday night, where I am, I went to the very first showing, and the theater was pretty much empty. There were only a couple other people in there, but it was a 1 o'clock showing. So
I do have to keep the middle one down.
I saw that as kind of a bad sign, but I just
Is that it?
Anyway.
Dumb.
I went to the next showing, which is just later in
I don't know why I have to always keep the middle one down. I don't even know who he is. Or she is. I don't know. Just a guy in there. It's annoying.
Don't send me charts, don't send me facts or figures. I don't want to hear anything about anything. I'm going through this whole weekend blind. I just want to experience what everybody else is experiencing. Well, before I went into that second showing, I was just by myself. And then later that evening, my whole family was coming into town, by the way. My whole family was going to come into town and watch the movie with me that night. But this showing, I was still sitting by myself. I was checking my email, and I accidentally saw one of the reviews. and I saw that it was terrible, and that opened the floodgates, and I went and started reading all of the other reviews. And I immediately texted my family saying, "Don't come, don't come. You know, this is over. I want to be by myself." And I was already thinking in my head, like, how am I going to write a letter to Blumhouse apologizing for this? How am I going to write a letter to the fans apologizing to this for just wasting everybody's time? And I was just incredibly depressed. But somehow,
That sucks.
somehow Jason Blum caught wind of this. I don't know who I asked a question to or what I said, but you know, he started just bombarding me with text messages saying, Scott, the fans love it. The fans love it. You know, the movie's a big hit. Everything's great. He was just, you know, in all caps, everything all caps. My phone was just blowing with all caps texts. And so he really talked me through that to try to encourage me that even
That's
though I
nice.
hated it, you know, there was a lot to be left there by the fans. And so then I had my family come into town anyway, and we just sat in a packed theater and listened to, you know, the cheers and enthusiasm, and it really lifted my spirits. But you know, for a couple of hours there, man, I was pretty distraught. I thought the whole thing was just a complete disaster.
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't. It all worked out okay. You know, it all worked out okay.
Yeah.
And again, the movie's not perfect. There's definitely room to improve. But yeah, I'm definitely happy that it was, in general, received well by the fan base.
The second movie, which is, you know, it's been announced that it's going to be coming out in 2025. Is it December 2025?
Yeah, December 5th, 2025, I think.
Is there anything exciting to talk about on the second movie? Anything you want to say?
I'm not going to give away too many details, but I will say that I'm following kind of the same formula where the first movie is focused on the first game. So I'm going to try to carry on that tradition onward with future movies, and I think that is absolutely the way to go. And I think everyone's going to be really, really excited for what's planned for the second one. You know, the first one was really challenging because it's so much setup. It's like, how do you establish all of this? But now that we have that launch pad, where to go from there came a lot just more natural. It felt a lot more natural, and we were able to really craft just a really great story, I think. And I'm really excited about it. And I won't say anything more, but I'm really hopeful that everyone's going to really love what's gonna come around December 2025.
Yeah, so exciting. And is Emma back and everything?
Oh yes, yeah,
well?
Emma's gonna be back. She did such a great job on that first one, you know.
Yeah, that's really good having the same director. So now we're going to be talking about Into the Pit, the new game that's coming out by Mega Cat Studios. We just got the trailer, another trailer, a couple like last week, and it looks amazing. It looks so good. How has it been working on the game based on a Fazbear Fright story?
It's definitely been a unique experience. You know, I first started talking to Meg. I mean, it's been years and years since this.
Nice.
game has been in
Nailed it.
development. And originally, it was just
good.
supposed to be a little novelty
I do.
one-off. Like, oh yeah, here's this little company that makes 16-bit cartridges, and that was immediately appealing to me because I'm all about the Super Nintendo. And
All right.
so if I was
Let's talk for a little bit about what he just said about the movie. My opinion on the FNaF movie is that I agree with the critics and the fans. As a fan of the franchise, I really, really loved it. As a person who just really, really likes movies, and more importantly likes how movies are made and how movies are crafted and how movies are built, I respect a lot of how movies are made. Like, from a technological standpoint, FNaF is huge, but also just I like movies and I like well-made scripts, and I look out for story details. So I'm a critic of the FNaF movie, and I'm not. If I was a critic of the FNaF movie, I would be like, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? This makes no sense. The story's kind of whack. There are problems with the film everywhere. You know, it's kind of dumb, right? But when I just kind of watch it as like a popcorn movie, like just a FNaF popcorn movie, because I'm a FNaF fan. Like, it's a popcorn movie made for me and the fans of this franchise. When I look at this film as just a popcorn movie, I find myself enjoying it a lot more. Like, I know that multiple times I've been doing like homework, and when I'm doing homework, I just kind of pop it up, and I just enjoy checking it out. Oh, there's a new FNaF 2 image. Oh, Toy Bonnie's head is big. That is a big head. Damn. That's huge. The toy animatronics are gonna be like about as big as the classics. That's crazy. That's that's weird. I thought that the toys were significantly smaller than the classics. No. That head is big. I think it might just be because it's in the foreground, but like, God. I don't know how big that actually is. It's pretty big. Toy Bonnie's looking fantastic, though. It's looking really, really good. Cool. All right, yeah. But the movie, I think, as a fan, I loved watching it. Like, I can't hate it. I cannot bring myself to hate it. And Scott was right. Like, the fans are the main like, people you want to see who are gonna watch the movie. Performed well, and a lot of people are like, "Oh man, why does it have to be for the fans? Why can't it be for everyone?" Well, not every single movie is supposed to be for everyone. Not every single piece of art, not every single piece of every single creation is supposed to be made for everyone. You know, everyone's kind of allowed to do their own little things. Or everyone's allowed to enjoy and interpret art in their own little ways. But sometimes art is made for specific people, you know? Like kind of like how Half-Life or FNaF World just wasn't really made for me, or like for my tastes, my own personal tastes. But that's okay. It's okay if the FNaF movie isn't like the thing that I've been waiting for or searching for years. You know, the game that's gonna fix depression or something. Like, I don't know. It's nothing huge for me. It's just kind of something that just kind of exists for me. I don't really worry about. It's just kind of a part of it, and it's just like, man. I like Half-Life. I don't like the first one. In fact, I really, really kind of hate the first one. Not because I think but it's just kind of not really my type of game, you know. So the FNAF movie is just like, it is my type of movie. I really, really liked the FNAF movie, but it's not everybody's movie. You know, it's not everybody's thing, and that's completely fine. I won't even say that people were being mean to it. People were being 1,000,000% justified with it. Everyone's opinions were right to an extent. Like, they were all right because, first off, opinions are always... Well, no, opinions aren't always right. I'm not going to say that. But opinions are... Everyone's allowed to have them. And when it goes to a movie, it's kind of effectively harmless unless it, like, hurts some director's feelings or something. But, you know. That's all I really have to say about the movie. I think it was fine. At worst, I think it's kind of mid. At best, I think it was one of the greatest. It's probably the greatest theater experience I've ever had. I brought all my FNAF plushies. I brought all my stuff to the theater. You know, it was. I loved it. I watched it with my dad, and we just kind of both bundled up in my FNAF blanket and with the FNAF plushies, and I hugged my Jumbo Freddy the entire time, and it was really, really cute. It was really, really fun, and I had a ball. And then I watched it with one of my good friends, a good friend of mine, and I watched it with him. And it's just like, God, it was one of the most memorable experiences I will ever have in a movie theater. And I'm really, really excited to have that kind of same experience with FNAF 2's movie, because it was just like, God, I'm smiling about it just thinking about it. Like, it was a genuinely good experience, and I think that everyone involved did a really, really good job. Watching it for like, I've seen the movie like over like 12 times. Watching it for the 13th time, it's just gonna be like, okay, it's just kind of another movie. But recounting the events, I feel like it was more about like what happened with the movie than the movie itself being good. You know, the movie itself was just kind of like whatever. Guess you can play someone else. Let's do candies. Candies, burgers, and fries. But yeah, I don't know. So now it's too quiet.
So if I could make something that would come on the Super Nintendo cartridge, sign me up. That was the most exciting thing, the most exciting product I'd ever worked on. It was still just supposed to be a novelty, but as the development went on, everybody was looking at it thinking this looks pretty good. This actually looks really good. And so they just kept on going with it. They could have stopped a lot sooner. They could have stopped with just a little simple novelty game, but they just kept going. And I kept looking at it thinking, yeah, keep going. And they kept going, and I would keep looking at it. It just turned into this big, full-fledged, full-sized game. So we obviously decided to venture away from strictly the cartridges, so that everybody can be able to play it on Steam and everything. But it's really unique. It's just a really, really unique game, and I do love that it really gets into just this really gritty kind of graphics that I haven't seen since, well, I guess since the late 90s, whenever you had those point and click type adventures and you had that real kind of that pixelated art style that can be really creepy at times. I don't know. It's going to be a really unique experience, and I think that everybody's going to really be excited about it.
I'm interested.
I really do.
I'm very
I
interested
can't
in
wait to play it.
about
How
Into
has
the
it
Pit.
been working with Mega Cat Studios then?
Oh, it's been great. It's been really great. I really haven't had to give them. I mean, I have had to give them direction, but for the most part, it's been weird. They would go into the hole for 6, 7, 8 months at a time, and I wouldn't hear anything from them. To the point where I thought, is this okay? And I would even, I'd talk to the other people that I work with, like, is this game okay? Is this going to be okay? Are they okay? Do I need to check on this? Do we need to check on them over there?
Yeah, guys, we gotta worry about the mental health chat.
All this crazy new stuff and all this crazy detail, this fluid animation. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. And then they'd go back into the hole again for 5, 6, 7 months. And then we just repeat that cycle. But now here we are finally at the end of that road, and I think it's just turned out really great. Like I said, really unique, and I think everybody's going to really like it.
The reaction to the trailer has been amazing. All positive feedback about it. Super excited. People love it. The story of Into the Pit as well. Into the Pit's probably my favourite Fazbear Fright story. So with all the positive feedback about it, what do you see for the future of FNaF spin-offs made by other studios in the future?
Oh, it's definitely a possibility. In fact, I'd really like them to start working on Fetch. I think Fetch would make a really good game after this. Some stories obviously cater more toward being a good game than others, but there's something really scary about the thought of something always being out there and kind of watching your house, and then trying to come in and do things for you. Like, this is kind of a scary thought. The thought that I might be online shopping looking for a specific thing, and somehow something out there is hearing that and receiving that, and then gonna come to me, sneak inside and put it.
I hate these controls, dude.
It's just a creepy scenario. It's a creepy setup, and I think it'd be.
I'm just bad though too. I'm not good at this at all.
Stop this thing, because obviously Fetch was out doing a lot of menacing things, to have to sneak around a neighborhood and stop this thing that's sneaking around so undetected. I don't know. I think it'd be a really cool game. So hopefully that'll be the next project. We'll see.
As the franchise has grown bigger, what challenges have you faced with running a franchise of this size? Is there anything you think you could be doing better?
I think something I should have maybe been doing better is I should have had a better structure in place as far as people to talk to the fan base. I've always kept that on myself all during the years, and in the early years, I think that worked great because it was a little indie game, a little indie community, and then me, the indie dev, just chatting with the community and talking. But as the years go by and the franchise gets bigger and bigger, I don't know. I feel like I've slowly kind of lost touch with the fan base. Unfortunately, it's not that same. It's not that same relationship that it used to be. I really used to enjoy chatting with everybody and just kind of I don't know, and I guess that's expected, because FNaF is more of a big, it's kind of just kind of a bigger thing now, and it's bigger than one person, and I can't just pretend like I can hop online and chat with everybody and solve everybody's problems anymore. Used to, I kind of could. I could just go in there and chat with everybody and resolve little problems as if it was like just a squabble on a forum. I can always just step in and solve it, but it's just not the same. And I think that I should have realized that sooner. And I'm really only realizing that this year, that I really need to have a better structure in place. And the fan base.
Which is why he has the Twitter account.
The fan base deserves that, to have more people in charge and running a Twitter page and official news feeds. An official news feed, so that there's not so much confusion about what's real and what's not.
That's
real,
fair.
And real news and fake news, and is this confirmed? Is this not confirmed? I could have avoided
I missed that.
years of that if I just kind of had a better structure in place with people to listen to, and like I said, a news feed and someone else to just provide better answers to the fan base. So I'm trying to get all that in place, and I really think I think it would just better serve the fan base. I think everybody would be a little happier if it's not just me trying to jump in and straighten things out when needed.
Yeah, I think the Twitter's a great idea. We're recording this in June, but you know it was announced today. The schedule for what's coming out during that week is really exciting and really good.
One small slip up can destroy everything.
For the anniversary, they kind of know what's coming.
Let's try this
which
again.
is really exciting, and you know communication like that. You know. You know, people have really appreciated that, so thank you for doing that, and looking forward to seeing what happens next on the Twitter, what they announce. And apart from the second movie to look forward to, is there anything else you could hint at for the future? Any future titles or any little hints to get people excited for the future?
One of the good things is going to be coming from Steel Wool, but that's going to be announced here in this same week that your interview.
That's awesome.
Air, so
I'm very excited for, I think, tomorrow, because I love Steel Wool.
It might have been right after this. Yesterday. Okay. And obviously everybody knows about the movie, and right now the books are these interactive books, which I read things like that growing up, and so I'm excited about those. And I've tried to add some depth into those to where you can actually collect items in them and things like that. So it's really not just about picking a path; it's about picking a path and getting something, and then going to the other path and being able to use something. So it makes it more interesting and more intricate. But yeah, I mean that's the plan for movies, games, and books. And I already told you my
I don't have time.
Mega Cat game, and there is another game planned with Steel Wool, but that's not going to be announced for a while yet. So
Dumb.
I can't talk about that. But there is something down.
I'm just bad. I don't know.
Okay.
even beyond what's being announced this week, there's something beyond. But I can't talk about that.
Yeah, so I won't spoil anything.
I want a new
but
control scheme. Can I get a new control scheme?
Guys, and it is good. So please, you know,
Everything's good to you, Daco, dude.
When it comes out, I'm looking forward to the Into the Pit one.
Has he ever? I need to know. I'm actually curious. Does Daco have a single part of like official FNaF that he's like, you know what, this is kind of bad? I'm genuinely curious if he even has like one bit of that. Like, does he think that anything in this franchise is bad? I mean, he can't really think that anything in this franchise is bad, because then everyone is good. Like, he's too popular in this franchise to say that anything is bad in it, you know? So, I don't know. I mean, it was just being honest. Maybe he does, like, genuinely love every single thing that comes out of this franchise, you know? Maybe he genuinely believes that. I don't know. It's hard to say for me. I wouldn't know. But it makes you think, I guess. So.
VIP, another one as well?
Yes. Yeah. VIP is one that I did with Scholastic, just like the others, but it's just going to be free. It's specifically for this event. I mean, I might still be included in a box set later down the road, but no, for this week, it was made specifically for this event. By the same author, I believe, as the week before. So if you enjoyed that one, you'll enjoy VIP. And I really love the story for VIP. I'm not going to ruin it, but it might be one of my favorites. So hopefully everybody really enjoys that.
That's awesome. I'm pretty sure it comes out before the interview. So
okay, yeah. Great.
Future me, if you're watching, probably loved it. There is a collab announcement tomorrow from this interview. Whatever it is, I don't know. But it seems that you've been more open with collaborations with games recently. The Funko one as well. Are you more open to more collabs since we last spoke during the last interview? Like, would you be interested in whatever it is? I don't know, like Fortnite or Dead by Daylight. Have those popped into your head at all? Or
I'm very careful with collaborations because I want to protect the brands and I want to make sure that Five Nights at Freddy's stays as Five Nights at Freddy's. And there are some games where even if I really enjoy the game it just doesn't feel like a good match.
Ugh.
It feels like a mismatch. The brand integrity is the most important thing for me, and keeping everything feeling like it belongs. And so
What happened?
That's really been my
What
only
just happened?
consistency. I feel like I am branching out a little bit. I am a little bit more open to those things than maybe I was in the early years, but I'm still very careful about it. We'll just see. We'll see how things go.
Okay. Anything else you would like to add to finish off the interview?
Let's see here. No, I mean, I think things are in a good place, and like I said, I think that the things that are on the horizon are all things to be excited about, and I think that everybody's going to really enjoy. The things that the fan base really going to enjoy. And I wish I could talk about those more, but I don't feel like I can.
So, do you think we're going to have another interview in 10 years' time?
It doesn't have to be 10 years. We can try to do this a little bit more often.
Like, what, every 5 years?
Yeah, every 5 years. There we go.
Okay. Shaking your hand.
Just make it a regular thing.
Okay, awesome. The
Topping
biggest thing that
juggled
everybody's
is
been
annoying.
begging me for this interview when I announced it is the box. That is, everybody just wants to know anything about it because it's the biggest mystery out of the whole 10 years of FNaF, I would say. Maybe Midnight Motorist is number 2, but yeah, I'd say the box is the biggest mystery that everybody wants, like even a tiny snippet of something. Help.
Okay. Well, I can try to give somewhat of an answer to that, even though it might not be extremely satisfying for a lot of people. So I would encourage people to turn off the interview if they don't want an answer that they might not be happy with. But whenever I'm making these games, there are a lot of things
I
that
don't even know.
are in my head that are just flowing ideas, and when I have them and put them there, it's the first half of something. It's like a string or a rope just like reaching out, and I know that what's there on the other end is there. I trust that it's there. I know that it's there, and then whenever I progress forward, the rest of that just reappears. The rest of it appears and just fits into place perfectly. That's how all my games have been made. I feel that there is something there, and I make the roads to get there for that to be revealed. But then sometimes when things do progress, the roads aren't always the same roads as the ones that had been planned before. And so what that means is, even though at the time something was definitely there, something was definitely reaching out to be there, and I could feel that it was there, the progression of the story didn't go there. And so those strings never got pulled on, and and the other half of that idea remained in the ether, remained in my subconscious. All of that to say, there is something in the box, but I never pursued it, and I don't know if I can find it again. And I think that that's the best answer that I can possibly give for that.
Scott, thank you so much.
So there's nothing in the box. They were screwing with us the entire time. There's nothing in there at all. Nothing's in the box, and he just kind of forgot to put anything in there. There's a huge... It's like, oh, there's a box. Oh, God, there's so many crazy things happening. There's so many crazy things going on. God, this box. Hey, Sarah. It's like, oh, man, we gotta... There's a box and stuff, and it's gonna be like crazy because it's the big secret of the franchise. It's like, what's in it? And now there's nothing in it. Go home, folks. It didn't matter. Well, he was right. It wasn't very satisfying. He was correct on that. So I got exactly what I wanted. What's in the box? What's the biggest secret of FNaF? Doesn't exist. What's the meaning of Midnight Motorist? Oh, well, it was something. We just kind of forgot to pursue that and do anything with it. My fault. That was my bad. Sorry, folks. Big apologies. That's our bad. Okay.
Myself and everybody really does appreciate it. We're looking forward to the future. We're looking forward to this week. Future me is probably stressing out, playing all the demos and getting ready for Into the Pit in a few days. I'm so excited for Into the Pit. I really, really am. And all the fanverse stuff as well. My Pop Goes and the Joy of Creation, that demo. I'm looking forward to playing all of those as well and reading the new book. There's a lot in that week. I'm going to just be MIA that whole week. I've already told my friends and family, like, I'm not going to be here for the whole week. Don't call me. Don't text me. I'm going to be in this room just doing everything I can that week. And yeah, we really do appreciate it. So yeah, I think that's it. Which is really weird. That hour went so quick. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Without you guys watching the channel, you know, I wouldn't be doing this in the first place.
I wouldn't have the money to live, so you know.
So it really does mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. And yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic 10-year anniversary week, and you're all enjoying yourselves, playing the demos and reading the books and stuff, and are excited for it.
It's cool.
And Steel Wars announcement as well. That's so exciting. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it.
FNaF Unsolved, the FNaF 4 box featuring FNaF. Sorry guys, sorry to break it to you all, but I don't know if there's anything in it. Is that what he said? I just want to get double check because I don't think I heard him properly. I just need to know.
Get a regular thing.
Okay, awesome.
I'm genuinely curious.
I can try to give somewhat of an answer to that.
Somewhat,
Even though
okay.
it might not be extremely satisfying for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I would encourage people to turn off the interview if they don't want an answer that they might not be happy with. But you know, whenever I'm making these games, there are a lot of things that are in my head that are just flowing ideas, and when I have them and put them there, it's the first half of something. It's like a string or a rope just like reaching out, and I know that what's there on the other end is there. I trust that it's there. I know that it's there, and then whenever I progress forward, the rest of that just reappears. The rest of it appears and just fits into place perfectly. That's how all games have been made. I feel that there is something there, and I make the roads to get there for that to be revealed. But then sometimes when things do progress, the roads aren't always the same roads as the ones that had been planned before. And so what that means is, even though at the time something was definitely there, something was definitely reaching out to be there, and I could feel that it was there, the progression of the story didn't go there. And so those strings never got pulled on, and those and the other half of that idea remained in the ether, remained in my subconscious. All of that to say, there is something in the box,
Okay.
but I never pursued it, and I don't know if I can find it again. And I think that that's the best answer that I can possibly give.
So there is and isn't anything in the box. There is something in the box that could have been explored on, and we could have gotten to that point, but we just haven't yet. So there is something in the FNaF 4 box. We just will probably never know what it is, and therefore, to at least my understanding, we probably won't ever really have a position where it will matter in the story. So is there something in the box? I mean, I guess if you want to do it for completion's sake, yes, there is something in the box, but there is nothing important in the box, and the purpose that it holds is essentially kind of something that doesn't exactly really matter, to my knowledge. That's kind of, I think, if that is to be understood. I might be misunderstanding things. I don't know. It's you know, I know that people get tired of when people complain about things that they don't actually. When people complain about things that they don't entirely know about, so I just wanted to double check. But to my knowledge, this is just kind of like a. Oh yeah. We don't really have an answer. Sorry. For that. And I kind of am wondering, like this entire strings, analogy. genuinely curious. I'm genuinely curious on what other parts of this franchise, kind of are like that, where it's like, what other strings have not been pulled on yet? Because Security Breach seems like it has a ton of strings attached to it, and a lot of them haven't reached completion, right? So it's like, what are, if there are a lot of parts of the franchise that just haven't really been answered yet, should we even be looking for those answers yet? Hard to say. I'm not a theorist. I watch FNaF theories every now and again, but I don't really look at the theories as often. It's just kind of like, meh. I don't know. It's just kind of like, the story's complicated, and they obviously have a lot of things they want to flesh out, and I'm kind of waiting for the answers to those things. Like, it's kind of fun to make theories about the story and the lore. But I feel like I would rather just wait for an answer than theorize about an answer that won't arrive. That's kind of my own personal opinion on it. So, that's kind of where I lie on that front.
That week, I'm gonna just put on that room, just think that fantastic 10-year anniversary. But yeah, thank you.
It's very cool. Okay. Very, very cool. I do not have other windows open yet. It would be cool though if, the secrets of FNaF, the biggest secrets of FNaF are Midnight Motorist and the box. The box has already been answered. There's nothing in there, or at least nothing of worth is in there. There's something in there, but it's nothing that really matters. Now we have to deal with Midnight Motorist. I think that's what 5 laps is going to teach us. It'd be very interesting if they did 5 laps and Midnight Motorist, and every single one of those laps, something new was there, right? Something new was in there in the 5 laps. So I don't know. That'd be interesting. I'm very, very curious about that. I might do some fan games, so some more my pop goes, or some more of the Joy of Creation. Right now, I'm just not really feeling up to it. It's not really something I'm interested in. I know that I think that the thing about this anniversary so far is that I'm just kind of trying to have fun, and I think that's something. I'll be completely honest. With this channel for a little bit. My little interview to myself is running this channel. Becoming a YouTuber is way more difficult than it seems. It's something you just kind of have to have the experience for. Because sometimes there are just going to be days where you are not interested in making a YouTube video. You're not really interested in making things happen. And you're not really always interested, like, the VR video idea. I kind of like recording the VR videos. But when I'm playing like Ruin, when I'm recording VR videos, it's laggy, it's kind of glitchy. It's a lot of maintenance. I'll be real, I have 3 hours of footage to just comb through, in order to do that. I have a lot of footage to come over in order to do that video. And I really, really want to get that video out, but I also know that I might, like, it's going to require a lot of my sanity to do it. All of my VR videos, except for Chapter 3 of Poppy Playtime, are not done yet. They're not entirely done yet. And, or they're already recorded. So I got Ruin, and then I got Ruin Part 2, and then I have Poppy 1 and 2, which is just going to be Poppy Playtime in VR Part 1. I have projects, too, that are kind of there, and I'm hoping to get them all out, hopefully before the summer ends, but I don't think I will. I doubt that I will, in fact. I don't think I can. And the views have already dropped by a lot, so my reign of terror was over with Indigo Park, and I love Indigo Park, and I actually really, really like that video. I'm proud of it. I'm proud it's gotten as far as it has, but it kind of creates expectations that you put in your mind for yourself. It's like, well, if this video is a massive success, we have to go, and jump off of that, right? That's stressful. That sucks. That really sucks. Like, and I don't really have a good personality for YouTube, and I understand that. Like, I'm not expressive. I'm not loud. I'm not crazy, you know. I'm nothing that would really be YouTube material. I'm not like Dawko. I'm not like Markiplier. I don't make nice witty jokes. I don't really scream at everything and talk about everything's amazing. Amazing. You know, I just kind of just play it honestly. That's something I've kind of like to do with this channel is honesty. When you watch me do something on my YouTube channel, however I react to that thing or whatever I say, it's honest. 100% honest, you know? And I don't know how long I can do that. Making FNaF things, anything in relation to FNaF, that's incredibly, like, difficult to do. Because when you're trying to do that kind of thing, I just lost my train of thought. Damn it. When you're trying to make YouTube videos and you're trying to make a bunch of episodes and you're playing FNaF fan games and you're like, oh, this would make a fantastic video. It's kind of like, eventually it stops really being fun anymore, making YouTube videos, and eventually starts being tedious and starts kind of being really, really annoying to do. It starts turning into an expectation for yourself. And that's something I don't want to do anymore. Not that I'm going to quit YouTube, obviously. I'm still probably going to upload videos, but I feel like there's going to be a point in time where after everything kind of, like, the dust kind of settles on my channel and I kind of finish a lot of big projects I've been working on or I've been hoping to work on for a while, I'm just going to probably do live streams and upload every now and again and not really worry about things too much, you know? Because YouTube can kind of destroy your sanity a little bit. It can make you feel like you're missing out or you're not. Like, when I was younger, I really, really wanted, you know, everyone was kind of a YouTuber on YouTube. And it's like, oh, that must be awesome. It must be a dream to be a YouTuber. You know, and I wanted to try it. And I wanted to try doing that. But I don't know if I have that in me. You know, because YouTube isn't really a passion of mine. Editing videos is fun, and I do like editing videos, but it kind of has to be the right kind of video. You know, it has to be the right kind of video that you're interested and willing to edit. When you are merely just making a video for playing a game, you're going to be done editing like 3 hours of footage. You're going to go put it on the internet, and no one's going to care. And that sucks. It lets you down. It makes you realize all of my effort, all of my time making this video was for nothing. You know, making the thumbnail, making decent commentary while playing it, making good time, making it, trying to have fun playing it too, and just trying to have fun editing it and making it just interesting and trying to do everything in your power, making the title something kind of interesting, doing everything in your power to make a video that has worth out the window the moment that it's uploaded and it doesn't get the kind of reception you were hoping for, you know, and that's rough. And there are people who have a knack for it, and there are people who have a knack for making things huge and big, and I don't like doing that because I don't like faking myself. I don't fake myself, ever. Right now, I am talking to you as if I would talk to anyone I would be discussing this with. You know, I'm talking to you with the same amount of dignity I would do with my friends, my family, right? I try to do it. I try to make myself real, and I try to put myself out there. This space has been just kind of a place where I can put my own personality, my own voice impressions, you know, doing Freddy or Sun or Moon or whatever, or doing some other impression, you know, doing like Morty or something. I think I did like a Morty impression in like one of my videos where it's like, oh God, oh man, oh jeez, you know, and stuff like that. Like that kind of stuff is like, that's fun. That's fun to me. The FNaF fandubs, some of the most fun I've ever had making videos, you know. I don't think that Let's Plays are my kind of thing. I don't even like watching Let's Plays. I don't know even why I make them, You know, I could probably stop making Let's Plays. I'd rather stream video games than play video games and edit them. But that's just kind of a note I'm probably going to leave on for a while, is after the dust settles, I'm probably just going to stop making videos for a while. Until I find a project that I'm actually interested in putting out on the internet. Because I think that it damages me. It makes finding a new FNaF fan game that's really, really cool. It's like, yeah, this is going to be super, super cool. Now it turns into, oh, this would be a cool video. And then I'm editing the video and I'm like, oh, I already lost motivation. Right? And I still do love the fan game afterwards. It's not like it ruins the fan game, but it kind of ruins the experience of playing it sometimes. Playing things casually. And everything just kind of like could be like interesting to try and play starts turning into something that's like I don't know if business opportunity is the right word, but something like that, you know? And that kind of sucks to do. And YouTube kind of hurts. And I always kind of wish that I was able to put myself out there and build a fan base and build people who care about what I have to put out there. And then the dust settles and no one remembers you. And you kind of have to start from zero again. And that sucks. That's difficult to do. And I don't think I have it in me to do all that stuff. And that's kind of depressing for me because I feel like I have this requirement in my life to try to build a legacy and build a fan base and build do things on my channel that matter to me and matter to other people. But it's just, it gets harder and harder to do that. And after a while, it's just, it does more harm to me than good. And if people are gonna leave just as fast as they joined, then that's, you know, I've had a lot of people on this channel who have watched my videos, a lot of friends that endure my stupidity and my little antics on this YouTube channel, but and I will thank them forever for supporting me, always. I will always thank them for supporting me on my work. It's super important. It's difficult to do it forever. I have just about only, there's like a few videos where I have a few of my friends in them. Help Wanted 2 streams are a big one. But doing the fan dubs, I asked my friend, I'm like, hey, do you want to work on this together? Because I thought it would be a lot more fun to do with friends, and it is. But after a while, doing videos just kind of by myself, like Let's Plays, are just like, I don't even like Let's Plays, nonetheless want to watch Let's Plays or even do Let's Plays is just kind of like boring, you know. So after a while, I think, did I misspell anniversary? Have all of my videos had anniversary misspelled? Wait. God damn it. I'm an idiot. I gotta fix that immediately. You know, I have projects in my own life too. Right now I'm illustrating a kid's book for my voice acting teacher. I haven't talked about that at all, but like that's huge for me. That's gonna be bigger than any project I'm gonna be doing on this channel for like a year. Like that's gonna be insane, right? I got so many other really, really cool things to do. I want to make a vocal demo for voice acting. I want to do a lot of really, really cool drawing stuff. Like there are areas for my channel to grow and for my channel to have content. And maybe it won't. Maybe I'll find like something like something I would love to upload to YouTube. But after a while, it just gets stale. You know, some people have a knack for it, for marketing themselves. I don't have a knack for marketing. I'm too honest. You know. The people who do not market themselves as anything insane anymore are people who don't have to try anymore. Markiplier doesn't have to try anymore, but way back when, it stopped being security, you know, there was a time when it wasn't just Security Breach Part 1, it was scariest game in years. Was that Golden Freddy? What happened to Bonnie and Chica? You know, stuff like that. Just like stuff like that. Where your YouTube channel has to be expressive and crazy, and your reactions to everything must be shouting and screaming and excitement, you know, and it's just like things get kind of tricky when you do that kind of stuff. So I kind of can relate to Scott. Scott's kind of dilemma on some of this kind of stuff where it's like you have a lot of visions, have a lot of ropes that you want to pull, and sometimes it's not always very fun to pull them. So you just kind of eventually are kind of left to abandon them. So I kind of hear that. I've been rambling on for too long about YouTube channel things. For right now, that was all. I'm not really in the mood to do a lot of fan games today or tonight. I might do a few more tomorrow because the Steel Wool announcement is probably going to be hopefully pretty small. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time I upload a video, and more probable next time I do a live stream. So